What's up YouTube, it's NG, the WHATIMINX, and I'm back. Today I just want to touch base on the Apple event that happened yesterday and give my opinion on the new devices that Apple launched.
Now everybody scream enough respect to the X, enough respect given.
I finally got a chance to watch at least most of the showcase and watch some of the hands-on experiences that a lot of these tech tubers were able to have. They got to go to Cupertino to a very special Apple experience, and unfortunately Apple doesn't really allow their wares to be seen by the public until at least the release date. So I wasn't able to get any hands-on time with any of them, but I did like what I saw. So let's start first of all in the order that they went. So let's start with the Apple Watch. For the most part, I can't say I care much. I've never been a fan of the Apple Watch. I know that it can do all kinds of things when you combine it with your AirPods and your Apple iPhone, and I assume the computers as well. I know it's the best selling smartwatch in the world. This is all for reasons I personally don't understand, and I guess it's because I don't own one. And as far as me owning one, it will probably never happen because I'm just not a fan of Apple devices like that. I do have an iPhone mini, which I got because it was just that, a mini iPhone. I thought that was interesting. But aside from that, I can't say I care to really do anything else with Apple's devices, especially the accessories, as it were. They did announce a Apple Watch Ultimate, which I won't lie, I thought it was going to be called the Apple Watch Pro because there was a rumor that a Pro model was coming out. But perhaps it's because Samsung revealed their Galaxy Watch 5 Pro that Apple decided to change the name. Or perhaps they feel that their their watch is so much more than a Pro model. It's such a huge update to the original Apple Watch that the word Pro just did not properly describe this watch. So they went with the word Ultra. I'm not mad at the name. Apple Watch Ultra sounds kind of cool. Or Watch Ultra, because I don't think you're supposed to say the Apple part. Now this guy starts at $800. And in all truth, I don't think that's a bad price for what it is. A much more rugged version of the Apple Watch for those who are a lot more outgoing, a lot more extreme in what they do. You can use it to go scuba diving and all kinds of extremities that most normal people won't do on a regular basis. So if that is you, to have an Apple Watch that connects to what you probably have your iPhone and all of that, to have that seamless interconnectivity with your device and your watch and your earbuds, it just makes sense. So if that is your ecosystem of choice and you are that type of outdoorsy, outgoing, extreme person, to get an Apple Watch that can sustain that type of beating that it is very likely going to get going on these hikes and these dives and what have you, that is the watch for you. Now I know that a lot of other companies, one that comes to mind, Garmin, they also have watches in this extreme category, which actually retail for more than the Apple Watch. So depending on what they offer, I don't actually know exactly what they offer. The Apple Watch Ultra could be a pretty good deal as far as these types of watches go. Now, the next thing that they had were the new AirPods. Now, most of you know that I love earbuds. Earbuds, headphones, anything that can give me a clear audio signal. I love to try them out. I'm always trying to find that one audio device that gives me such clean, clear sound I no longer need to look for anything else. Some of them have come close. I've yet to find the one. Now, I've tried all of the earbuds or earpods, and I didn't like any of them. I can almost say I hated all of them. The closest one to something I could see myself using if I had to would be the Pros, simply because they did sound really good. But at the same time, they hurt my ears. Every other earpod, pretty much the same thing, only they didn't sound good. So they didn't sound good and they hurt my ears. So it was just no on both ends. Now, I am hoping that these new Pros, though they look the same, I'm sure there's some kind of ergonomic change in their shape and how they fit in your ear, and things along those lines. I can hope. So if that be the case, if they can fit snug in my ear and not cause that painful sensation that the original Pros caused me, I'll be more than happy to give these things a go and really get into how they sound and do a really deep dive into these new AirPods Pro 2. But I'm a bit hesitant simply because Apple's track record with AirPods, at least for me, has not been the best. Actually, it's been the worst of pretty much all earbuds out there. I have yet to find any AirPod that I like. And it's funny because the current earbuds that I use on my Apple devices is the Beats Fit Pro, and those fit like a dream. They sound amazing, and they are supposedly from the exact same company. I don't understand how Apple can mess up so badly, at least in my opinion, on their own earbuds, their AirPods, and let the Beats version of them just come across so well. So something just doesn't add up there. I'm not mad, but I do love how the Beats fit, how the Beats sound, and the control. It Beats does a very overall good package. So here's hoping that the AirPods Pro 2 can deliver on that. They made very lofty promises of the ambient sound could adjust to your surroundings, a la the Sony earbuds. Many of them have that, so maybe Apple could do it a little better. They always wait a while before they bring out a feature because they found some way to, for lack of a better word, perfect it. The noise canceling is supposed to be 2 times more. So if you thought things were quiet before, it really should block out whatever else was slowly trying to seep in to give you that really disconnected sound that one might want from being closed off from the world. Your music, and nothing else. So I do want to hear how they sound. So I will be trying to get a pair of them. If falls well, they will be finally a pair of AirPods I can call my own. Now, after the AirPods, they had the iPhones, of course. That's what most people wanted to see. Now, I'm not a fan of, like I said, Apple, at least not their mobile division. And I wasn't particularly excited about the iPhones at all. I pretty much knew what to expect, and for the most part, that's what it was. A few new features here and there. They have crash detection, very helpful. If all well, if you have one of these new devices, you'll never have to use crash detection. They have better cameras, better camera software, a handy little feature where they can connect to satellites, so that if you have no signal whatsoever and you are in a precarious situation where you need to get a signal out to call for help, you can align the phone with a satellite in the sky and send out a quick burst, a quick message to whomever, and if all is well, they will get it within a few seconds to a few minutes, depending on where exactly the satellite is. It depends on the cloud cover and all of these things, all of these factors. But you are able to send a message when you have no bar, no Wi-Fi, no anything. So that combined with the much more outdoorsy Apple Watch Ultra, you see where they're going with this. They're really trying to get into that outdoor lifestyle, health, wellness, outdoors, trying to say these devices are what you need to encompass all aspects of your life, from home to outside. And I think they're doing a pretty good job with delivering that message. The iPhones, the new ones, the iPhone 14s, there's no longer a mini version, so that was a bit saddening to me, because I did like the mini versions of the iPhone. But now you get, I think it's a 6.1 inch screen and a 6.7 inch screen, so they're both pretty big screens. So no matter which one you get, there's a lot to see. So it's, I'm not so much sure that it's about how much you see. It's more about how the phone feels in your hand. If you have smaller hands, you're going to want the 6.1. If you have larger hands, you'll probably want the larger phone. But as far as what each screen can display, I think you'll be pretty much seeing more or less the same amount of content on each screen size. Now, what turned out to be the star of the show, for reasons that I wasn't prepared for, was the iPhone 14 Pro. Yes, that is iPhone 14 Plus and then Pros, right? The iPhone 14 Pro actually surprised me. It surprised me to the point where I told myself I might need to get one of those. All of the other features aside, better camera, blah 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 blah, what we just discussed, they have this thing called something island. What's it called? They have this new feature on the device called the dynamic island. Now, the name is stupid. It makes sense, but overall it's a stupid name. I don't like the name, but no, to each their own. Now, what this is, on the iPhone Pros, where you had the notch, they've now made it into a pill shape. All of your FaceTime and all that is in this pill, so you still have your front facing cameras in this little black cutout. But what they did was they allowed the cutout to expand by turning off the pixels around it. So you get the illusion that this black cutout is moving and changing and shifting to give you more info. So depending on what you have coming in, whether it be a text message or an email, or perhaps it's controls for your music or your movies, whatever it might be, this little thing will change and shift and move to give you the relevant controls or information about what is coming through. So it really is kind of like a multitasking bar. I don't know if you guys remember the V20, and when that first came out, it had a little ticker up top above the screen, almost like a second screen. But in this ticker were all of the little controls and messages and stuff that would just come right through there. So you could be doing whatever you're doing on the main screen. Now, on this little screen up top, you would see, oh, someone called you, you missed that call, an email came through, here are the controls for your music. Any amount of things could go in that little ticker. And this little pill does the same thing, only in a much more interesting way, because it moves, where it gives the illusion of movement. So Apple got me with that. I haven't seen it in person, but based on what I have seen through YouTube and such, it looks amazing. very useful. I'm actually surprised that they were as creative as they were, because you don't expect Apple to be very creative at all. They're actually pretty boring when it comes to these type of things. Not that their software doesn't work, not that their devices aren't amazing to most. Their cameras take wonderful shots, but it's boring. And that's always been the thing with Apple. They've always been very boring when it comes to almost everything. But this little dynamic island, which I'll try not to say again, I much rather call it the dynamic eye, because it looks like an eye. I mean, if it had the Windows Hello blinked, it would be an eye. So let's just call it that. Yeah, so the pros have that, and that one feature is what really stood out to me in this new lineup of phones and made me say, hey, you know what? I might need to get that, because I need to see how that works for myself. And I would be happy to use a device with something so unique. That's all I've been waiting for from Apple. Give me something to talk about, something that doesn't bore me, something that someone else hasn't done before, that yes, you may have done it better, but it's still the same thing. This is completely unique in its own way, and I applaud Apple for doing this. Very good on them. Aside from the dynamic eye, I'm not calling it a dynamic island, the pros have better cameras, you know, the usual stuff that they always do with their Pro line. It does come in purple this time. Yeah, you don't need to wait till their spring announcement where they change, or when they add that extra color for the season. Last year it was, I think, green. The year before it was purple. Maybe before it was peach. This time around it comes in a purple. So you know me, when something comes in purple, it automatically catches my eye. So not only does it come in purple, but it has this amazing dynamic eye that I'm like, you know what? Might as well go for it and see what it's like. See if it's everything I assume it to be. And if it is, Apple will have me for at least this year. I have no problem using the iPhone in conjunction with my Duo 2. I think it will actually make a very good combination, to be honest. So yeah, that's just my opinion on the Apple event, what they announced. Yeah, and I do hope that, at least for the things I found of interest, I get to try them out myself, and you know that they are worth my time, that they live up to my expectations. I don't normally expect much from Apple, any at all, but the AirPods, it's very possible they might actually do it this time. And this new iPhone 14 Pro with the dynamic eye, I can truly see myself using something like that. So only time will tell. We'll see what happens whenever it is to happen. With that said, my name is NG, the Neon X, and just going over what Apple announced at their event, this is what I'm into.